blackjack. It might be quite obvious that I have an addictive dickhead personality. Addictive. Blackjack. You look at people that gamble. I have a gambling problem in the eyes of some. When I gamble, and I have for many years, to the point that I knew that it was like, uh-oh, gotta stop this. It's getting in the way of my bills, almost. There are two kinds of people that gamble, at least, that I can think of. And I think it might be a gender-linked trait. It may be between men and women. There are people that gamble to make money. They think they can get rich on it. They think that everything's going to work in their way. And there are other people that don't care about tomorrow. They want to play now. They're going to go until they're broke. And they'll come back again when they've got a little bit more. When I read the novel thing called 3 Negro Classics that I got out of the throwaway bin at the library with the paperback ripped off the front so it can't be sold, can't be used for resale. There was one man that talked about how it was after slavery ended, and he spoke of being in places and cities where they had gambling. They had gambling, and if you lost, you could sell your shirt. You could sell your clothing. They would give you this linen type of thing to wear, and pretty soon you'd be without shoes, and you'd be sitting in the background, just like in The Gambler by Tolstoy or Dostoevsky. I think it was Tolstoy. The Gambler. He was shoeless. You know, let's not throw that in there. I might be wrong about that. But in that, there would be people watching people that were winning, and they'd say, "Hey, buddy, how about covering me for 5?" There were people that were losers watching all the time that were marketing this thing. And so there in this book, 3 Negro Classics, where a guy talked, it was 3 stories about what it was after slavery. And Booker T. Washington was one of them. And it's a fantastic understanding of another person, you know. For those of us who only get it through the news, how about taking it from the mouth of the person that experienced it? And so he'd say, yeah, these people would be there saying, hey, buddy, and they'd get some more money to gamble again. If they won some money back, they could get their clothes. So this is evidently where the phrase, he lost his shirt on that one, didn't he? It's gambling in a way that you can't be sure to win. That's where hope comes into play, and why hope so often fails us. Putting that out there, it makes me think, okay, we're talking about phrases and where did they come from? Somebody spills their guts, they rat someone out. The story I read somewhere. I know it. You love hearing me say that. That's not giving you any citations. That's not giving you a path to find it. But I'm telling you, it's out there. If you look, you can find it. There's a story that says when Judas hanged himself after turning Christ in, he'd been up in the tree and he leapt out, hanged himself proper, and his guts spilled out. So what is that? Spill your guts? You rat someone out? Your guts come out because you're so guilty within yourself, with your own sense of reason, that you can't go on anymore. So spill your guts means that you've really done somebody wrong. Gambling. Blackjack. So there are people that want to make a living off of this, and then there's the person like me. I spent 17 hours one night in Reno when I didn't have to work the next day. I used to go in for about a week at a time and do my work in there and then head back out. I'd do that every 2 months, constant. And every once in a while, I'd do it every month. Week in Reno. What am I going to do? Not going to the whores, which somebody accused me once. I'm in the casino. I was forced to learn blackjack by my supervisor the first time he took me up there to make sure everything was going to work out all right. And I said, I don't gamble. And he showed me the basics, and ever after, I'd be up there 17 hours one night in Reno in a casino. Because I wasn't winning, I was making enough to play. Sit down with whatever money I've got. Doesn't matter if I've got access to it. I lock shit in your car. Say, leave your extra money in the car. Well, it's right there. That's a ruse. You're always going to spend that extra money, because what you're doing, you're going in there. You're not going in to make a bunch of money. You're going in there to play, and you'll play as long as they allow you to. I've seen it go off in 10 minutes where everything's gone, which should have lasted me 7 hours. But I got a problem with gambling. I just want to play, and I can be up $400, $600. You never know, because I only start with 20. And as long as there's money on the table, and it seemed like every time I'd pick up, I said, I'm walking out. I would be going by the cashier or by the slot machines on the way out, and I'd get caught up in it again, and I'd head back in. The one time I did, I said, I've got money. I won. I'm leaving. And I went to the cashier. I got my money from my chips. I looked at the coin slot machines there, and I said, no. I walked out the door. I'd done it. I'm standing there going to get in a cab and go back to the hotel. La Quinta, Sacramento, Reno, everywhere you want to be. Judas. And whereas there were always loads of taxis out there, not a single one. I'm standing there, I stand there, I'm like, well, nobody coming right now. So I went back and said, I'll just hit the table for a little bit, and they'll be sure to be out there when I come back. Hit the table again, lost every dime. That's how I gamble. I'm there for the game. I don't care whether I win or lose. My brother, I found out, has to win. He doesn't gamble. It's wise for a person that must win. Stay away from the fucking tables. And I think that's a male issue. Like a woman, she might be gambling to make money so that she can feed her family and keep things together. She's looking to the future. She's stuck with these kids. They've got DNA. And she knows they're theirs, hers. Not necessarily theirs. But a man, he might be willing to just run right the fuck off. Can't be sure they're his kids anyway. Spent a lot of time drinking with the neighbor. So there it is. Play it till it's gone. If you can get 17 hours out of it, fantastic. If you only get 20 minutes, that's a letdown. That started happening more and more, so I quit doing it. Then I got lured in by Victoria, and every time we go, she's Lady Luck. I just sit there and I just rail through it. We're always dressed up nice. We're ready for the show. And eventually they either cut me off or they cut her off. And they ask us to leave because we're too happy and too well. And it's the only way I can ever walk out with any money in my pocket is if I get kicked out by the bull. So now we look at that poor guy. Blackjack, gambling. That poor guy, he's been gambling his whole life. And it's a mistake for him because he's not somebody that likes to lose. But you gamble enough. Even if you know the odds, which I got pretty good at, I understand the odds of blackjack. What you realize, it's really more like quantum mechanics, quantum physics stuff. Just because the odds are there doesn't mean you can't walk through the wall one day. Or just because the odds are there that you can walk through the wall every day doesn't mean you're going to hit your head against it. And this poor fucker, he's playing these games, playing these judges, playing this damn country, trying his damnedest. He's gambling. Somebody that doesn't drink, you look at Ted Nugent, he had sex. He's a sexual fucking fiend from what we hear, or what he says. And then he becomes a political fucking fiend. I'm so sorry, Ted. You know, I didn't know you were going to go fucking crazy like this. I knew Kid Rock would. He sucked to begin with. But Ted, you said once when I saw you in a concert, you held up your pinky in the middle of songs and you said, look at all of these black pieces of shit on MTV. This is a quote from him to the crowd. He said, I got more soul in my little finger than any of them, any of these black. That's what he said. And I went, oh. And I looked next to me and there was a black man and we just looked at each other and said, didn't say a word. But what was said between us was, you shouldn't have said that. You're a fucking maniac. Maybe you should start drinking. Maybe heroin would be good for you. Maybe gambling. And this is what that poor guy has. He's got a gambling addiction. And that is not good for somebody with a lot of money. I watch people lose big money really quick. Thousands of dollars. They're like, yeah! And they walk away destitute. That's only thousands of dollars. You've got more money to lose. Sure, you think they're going to keep giving it to you, but like Spiro Agnew, in a few years, they'll forget you were even fucking here. Blackjack.